Hi guys, my name is Melissa and the topic for today is finding your passion and transitioning careers. A few months ago, I created a video about life after college and how to deal with the struggle. Since then, I've been kind of still in that same old rut, working the same job, not knowing how to get out or what to do in my situation. Like I previously mentioned in that video, I've been working in ABA therapy as a behavior therapist. I originally loved the job in the beginning and I was super stoked to just get the opportunity to expand my horizons in the psychology field and gain experience. But as I went on, it came to a point where I was actually stressing out about my health insurance because I thought I was being cut off from my mom's health insurance. It kind of sparked a fire under my ass because I realized that I needed to hurry up and figure out a job that was gonna secure me in that aspect. Right now my current job doesn't offer that, and so I was scurrying around and I was like, okay, what do I need to do? Because in order to get health insurance for my company, I would have to get my master's and become a BCBA. That was kind of a wake-up call for me because I realized that I had a crossroads and I could either go down the route of being a BCBA and getting my master's, or I could go down the route of just being in the same position and having to figure out what to do from there. I thought a long time about it and I thought I wanted to do the BCBA route because I looked up to my supervisors and I thought that their position was really cool and I was into it and it seemed like something I could do. I was like, oh, their job seems easy enough. I'm pretty sure I can make it and it'll be fine. The more I thought about it, the more I realized that this wasn't my passion, and I knew that, you know, it probably would be a mistake if I decided to go down that road and continue my education on something that I just didn't want to do. That moment in my job, I realized that everything changed because I noticed that, for one, I wasn't able to expand in my position as a behavior therapist. I wasn't able to grow and challenge myself, and those are the main things that I really like in a job, and I think that's why in the past I've gotten so many different jobs, because I like growing, I like changing, and I like being able to be challenged in new situations. I wasn't getting that from my current job. I'm still working there right now, but after some time of thinking, I finally realized that I couldn't live this life anymore because I started waking up resenting my job, hating having to go to work, feeling miserable about the idea of like going to this city and this city to see this client. And it wasn't anything personal, but it was just because I personally was not there anymore. My heart wasn't in it and I needed something new. It had been, you know, months. I was stuck in that position. I just kept saying, I need to get out, and I kept complaining to my boyfriend, I need to do something, I need to change, but I just don't know what I want to do. The only things that I was confident in was that I wanted to travel, wanted to experience new things every day and be challenged, be creative. I wanted to network and meet people, make connections, and see where it went. It had come to a day where I had taken my bullet journal and I just wrote out a list of things that I am capable of, what I can do, and what I want to do. And then I just compared lists and I saw how those compared, and I realized that none of the attributes that my job offered to me were aligning with what I wanted to do. This isn't exactly what I want to do. How do I change it? What do I want to do? Maybe, you know, and so I kind of put my mind to open up to different things, and I was exploring. I like social media, I like taking pictures, I've gotten into blogging. Just those little tiny things I knew that I was interested in kind of helped me step forward and keep going with this transition. The more I did that, the more I was open to thinking, okay, why don't I do this more often? I realized that one thing that was stopping me was my time, because I didn't have time since I was working full-time. It was a really hard balance between, you know, going out on weekends and after work to take pictures and do all these things, with working 8 hours a day or whatever. I just woke up one day, I was like, oh, I don't want to go to work, I'm so mad, and I fully resented my job. I wanted to quit, right? And so this was honestly last week, and you know, I had been stuck in that rut for months and months and months, but it just came to this breaking point, and that's when I realized that I needed to make a change. I had texted multiple people and I was like, I'm quitting my job, I don't know what to do anymore, but I just know that I don't feel happy here. A lot of them have understood and known that I was kind of in this situation, and so they were so understanding, and all of them were just kind of like, hey, if you don't feel happy doing this, then don't do it. If you want to quit, if that's what you want to do, then just quit. In that moment, I was like, yeah, you were fucking right. I don't know why I keep making it so complicated, because I worry about money and I worry about being able to afford, all of these things, but I don't worry about my well-being and my happiness. That's when I started to put my happiness first, and I wanted to just quit. I made up my mind that in that moment I was going to reduce my hours so at least I had some income and I would still be able to pursue what I was interested in. Even though I don't quite know, I can't exactly pinpoint, I want to be this label, I still know that I want to take a step in doing more of the things that I'm interested in. I felt a huge weight off my shoulder just with that email, because I feel like it was a step forward. It was a change in my environment, and I knew that it was going to be something that was going to put me first. It's been a weird time for me because I felt so pressured. I was living in Seattle for 2 years, and in June, the beginning of June, my lease was up. That put so much pressure on me because I felt like everything was collapsing in this vortex of misery, and I don't want to be looking for an apartment if I don't even know if I'm going to stick with this job. I don't know how I'm going to afford this apartment if I don't know what job I'm gonna have. I had decided to move home, and that was a blessing because I got to live back with my mom and I had time to just digest everything. Just those little moves really changed my attitude because I had such a negative and poor attitude. I just finally decided to make that change, and since then I feel like, opportunities have been there, and I'm open to them, and I'm allowing myself to see that. And just being able to surround yourself with people who support you and understand you and just want your best interests and have your best interests in heart, that is, the kind of people that you should keep in your life. I took all of that, all of their opinions and all of their suggestions to heart, and I always remember that I need to just trust in myself. I need to believe in myself, and I need to know that I can make it through and I can figure it out, and it doesn't have to be so complicated if I just take it step by step. There are classes, there are internships, there are little things that here and there that can help. It makes such a huge difference. I have this friend who I made from visiting his restaurant. He was just such a cool guy, and then we offered to help him with his social media, and so he assigned me to be his social media strategist for his Instagram, and I feel like that is just a huge step forward, and it was just like one little opportunity. I feel like it's a great experience for me to kind of gain, and I never would have found something like that if I didn't open myself to it. I know that a lot of people out there are kind of in the same position because it's so hard to make a decision when you're young about what you want to do for the rest of your life, right? It's like constantly choosing a major for your life, and you never know what's going to happen, and things change all the time. We blame ourselves because we don't know, when in actuality, whoever really knows. That kind of pressure on yourself is so hard, especially when you're constantly growing and changing and evolving. And so we have to always keep that in mind, that no one ever really knows what we want to do. I could spend X amount of years doing this, but one day just not want to do it anymore. And it's not a bad thing. I'm someone who likes to have my little fingers and toes in different areas of life, just so I have a balance, be able to say I'm skilled in all these different areas. There's nothing wrong with it. I feel 100 times better. Started to change little things about my life that has totally improved my well-being and overall wellness. That has made all the difference. My 5 tips for anyone who's going through this: 1, follow your heart, because whatever your heart is telling you, whatever gut feeling you have, is 100% you. Instead of letting, all these other factors get in the way, just remember what your heart is telling you and go with it. 2 is to take baby steps, because you never know what those little things can lead up to, but just taking tiny steps towards a bigger goal will eventually help you find what you want to do. 3 is to not let money get in the way of your passion, because I know, for one, I was so wrapped up in how I was going to afford anything, and I was so wrapped up in how I was going to balance my hours to gain all this money, to afford all these things, and blah blah blah, and it just kept going on and on and on. But once I eliminated money from this the circumstances, then I started thinking, okay, if money wasn't an issue, what would I be doing? I would be traveling, and I would be taking photos of things, and I would be eating good food, and I would be making new friends, and those are just the core values of what I wanted to do in life. And it doesn't have to necessarily be a pinpoint on one thing, but if you know, like, hey, you know, I like drawing. Why don't I just start drawing more and see where it gets me? Or I really like talking. Let me just talk on YouTube. Let me just talk to different people and see where it gets. I like eating. There are people who get paid to just eat, and that's a thing. So you just never know what those little things can get to you. Number 4 is trusting yourself. And one thing that I always had in the back of my mind was doubt, because I was like, what if I don't figure it out? What if I don't get myself out of the weeds? What if I, you know, and once I eliminated all those what ifs, and I was just like, well, I've been through shit before, and I've gotten to this place right now where I've successfully, you know, done all of these things, and I could totally successfully do all these other things too. It's very limiting when you don't trust yourself and if you don't have confidence in finding your own way. Everyone has found their way through hard times. Everyone has gone through situations where they thought they were stuck and then they got through it. And if you just trust in yourself and know, like, I can get through that, I can get through this, I can get through anything, then you'll make all the difference. Number 5 is being positive about everything. So cliche. Everyone says it, but it's so true to just be positive and having an optimistic attitude about your endeavors. It's going to help you push forward in any situation. I've been listening to this audiobook called You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. And I know it's an older book, but I heard that she came out with the second one, so I wanted to get through. But there's an audiobook on YouTube of her book, and so that was clutch. I have been reading her book, and she's been so motivating because I feel like she's speaking specifically to me, and everything that she says applies and resonates so well because she turns everything into a positive situation. She turns everything into a motivating and inspiring situation. Determination and drive and tenacity. And I feel like just hearing yourself or hearing all these things and seeing how they resonate with you in your specific life will help change your attitude and just do a complete 180. It was just 3 weeks ago where I was still miserable, you know, but I made that change just last week and I feel 100 times better. And I just wish that everyone who is going through what I went through feels the same thing that I feel now. It's liberating to know that you have control over your life. You have all of these tools and skills and techniques that you should fully utilize in ways that you want to. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up because that was really long, but I hope that I'm reaching out to someone and it's helping you, because it's been really good for me. And just seeing my progress from that last video, Life After College, to now, I feel like I've made a huge step. I'm still in the process of figuring out what I want to do, but just having, you know, a positive attitude about everything has really changed my outlook. Anyway, so I'm gonna wrap this up because I know that it's getting pretty long now, but I hope that this has helped anyone out there, because I feel 100 times better, and it took me some time to realize finding your true passion isn't something that happens overnight, but there are things that you can do to find it. And transitioning can be hard, but just know that when you are determined, you will be able to find your way if you just trust in yourself. So, thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and yeah, have a good day. Bye!